Joshua was a foreshadowing of our Messiah in a powerful way. Now, he was given the name Joshua by one of God's messengers. Moses gives him this name, and it's not just any name, it's the name Yeshua, the same name given to our Messiah by Gabriel. Now, look at what happens in their lives. Now, Joshua is filled with the spirit of wisdom when Moses lays his hands on him. Why did Moses pick Joshua? You got to see this. He takes people into the promised land. He's taking on this unfinished mission that Moses started. Moses dies before they enter the promised land. Joshua takes over and he brings God's people into the promised land. Now they are headed straight towards Bethlehem on this journey. The Jordan River stops flowing. They cross on dry land. Now when they get into the promised land, he selects 12 men from among the tribes, and the manna from heaven that had been falling down and feeding them is no longer in their presence, because now they're receiving God's promise. Now remember, our Messiah, the bread of life, when he was no longer in our presence, when he was taken up into heaven, we received the promise of the Holy Spirit. None of this is by accident. Joshua goes in, he offers salvation to Gentiles, but he wipes out every single enemy. He leaves nothing undone that the Lord had commanded Moses to do. Now he starts sending these spies in, 2 spies into the land, and as he's going through here, he is wiping out every single enemy. He brings down the dividing wall in Jericho, this wall of hostility. He brings it down. He tells the sun and the moon to stop in the sky, and they obeyed. They stopped because God was with him. Now Joshua divides out the inheritance. He gives God's people their inheritance, their earthly inheritance, and their significance to everything Joshua does. Because we had Joseph, we talked about how Joseph represented our Messiah in so many ways, this exalted servant who was betrayed by his people, who was put into a tomb. If Joseph represents the first coming of Christ, Joshua represents the second coming. Now remember what it says about our Messiah. He must reign until God has put every enemy under his feet. Joshua was that one who reigned until God put every enemy under his feet. He wiped out everyone, and he did all that God had commanded Moses to do. None of that was by accident. It's all pointing to our coming King. God bless.